Welcome to the Contractors Secret Weapon Radio Podcast, the show dedicated to helping contractors, remodelers, painters, roofers, and others in the construction industry gain an unfair advantage over their competition. Get ready for some inspiration, some encouragement, some proven business building strategies, and a couple of new ideas that can take your business to the next level and beyond. And now, broadcasting from the Contractors Secret Weapon Studio, it's Pete Mitchell and Dave Negri.
Hey, it's Dave Negri with Contractors Secret Weapon and
Pete Mitchell with Contractor Secret Weapon.
I didn't stutter this week.
and that other guy is here.
What other guy?
Me. I'm the other guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're the other guy. Okay.
Yeah, just call me the other guy. You know,
The
that
other guy. Cool. So, what do you want to talk about?
Well,
Something
I
really
figured.
exciting.
Yeah, well, I kind of figured that one of the things that I think that a lot of contractors can live or die by are online reviews. Because let's face it, I don't know what the numbers are. I've heard them all over the place. I think half the time they're made up. But you'll hear, someone is 10 times more likely to write a negative review about you than to go write a positive review about you. And I don't know if that's a true number, but certainly I can think about times that I've written reviews. It's usually because I'm really ticked. I'm like, they totally screwed me over or screwed something up. And I want the world to know these guys are scammers or they're bad people or, whatever. And I'll go write a review. So I can at least understand that mentality if it's true. I don't know what the number is.
But it's true for you.
But it's true for me, that's for sure. Don't mess with Pete. Pete's going to go online and tell the world what he thinks about you. And so it's really important that we get good reviews. And that doesn't mean you can't have bad reviews online. In fact, we can even talk about what do you do when you get a bad review online. But I know that if I look up a vendor or something like that and I see like nothing but positive reviews, I don't believe them. I'm like, okay, there's something wrong here. Like, I'll give you a good example of this. I was shopping on Amazon and I needed a new, what they call a lightning cable for my cell phone, my iPhone. And, no one has 5 stars for their cables. Not even Apple gets 5 stars for their cables because they always break. Like, that's just the nature of a cable. It's going to break and people get ticked and they go write a bad review. So I come across this one online and there was like 4,000 reviews. Every single one of them was 5-star. Every single one of them. And I was like, good night. Who has 5-star reviews for a lightning cable? And there's like 4,000 of these things.
Yeah, that's
reviews.
crazy.
So I'm like about ready to hit the buy button. And I'm like, well, let me just scroll down and actually read some of the reviews. Because I was like, it's too good to be true. And as I'm reading the reviews, none of the reviews were for lightning cables. They were all for completely different products. It wasn't even the same product.
How did you get it in there?
Well, this vendor figured out a way to grease the system. And I was so pissed. I tell Amazon. Like, I get in a chat with Amazon. I'm like, these reviews are not for this product. These guys are committing fraud. They figured out how to game your system. You need to fix this. Shut that vendor off because that's fraud. That's blatant fraud. You're using
Don't
reviews.
get on the bad side of Pete.
Dude, I was pissed. Oh, my gosh. Because, I'm about ready to spend, and it's only like $20, right? But I'm still about ready to spend money, and you're lying to me. Like, that is not a review for the product I'm about to buy. So by the way, guys, I mean, if you're trying to game the system, don't, right? Because when someone figures out you're gaming, you look really, really bad. And, in my case, I'm going to get them removed from Amazon because I was ticked. So, in fact, let's just address that. What do you do when you get a bad review? Like, Dave, have you ever had someone go online and say something negative about your service?
I have, and now is really a great time to address that, because years ago you couldn't interact with the review. The person did a review, but now you can, because they want you to interact, even if it's good or it's bad, which I think a lot of contractors or business people don't understand that. I think that if you get a review, then you need to go on and say thank you. It was a real pleasure doing business with you. I hope we can do business again. And if they did give you a bad review, and you just address it like you would anything else. Say, I'm terribly sorry that, our goal is to make everyone happy. I'm sorry we didn't make you happy. What can we do to change that? And if you can change that review around, if they call you, say, can you give me a call and we can resolve this? If we can, then we'll do it. If you can resolve it, then that person is going to be your best referral source, because they're going to say, you know what, I wasn't happy with the service when originally, but they came around and we talked about it, and they came around and they fixed it, and I'm completely satisfied.
Right.
So it comes back to us. It comes back to us. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of buttheads out there, and there are some buttheads that are going to give you, a bad review no matter what. But for the most cases, try to fix it. Even if you know you can't, just don't blow it off, because other people will look at that review and they'll see that you tried, even if the other person doesn't respond, because ultimately it comes back on you.
I think a key thing to address too, though, is when you respond, if you start offering excuses,
right,
you look worse. Yes. Well, you left your dog in the backyard and it was a scary dog and I thought it was going to attack me and blah, blah. I mean, that may have actually been the reason that you didn't do whatever, or they weren't 100% happy. But how you address it is a big issue. And like, even if you've got to say something like that, hey, you know what? The dog was scaring my workers. I didn't realize that he didn't do X, Y, Z. And so I am going to fix that. I'm going to come over personally and, do X, Y, Z, because I want that problem to be fixed. And I do apologize that, we didn't do that. And so, and I think a lot of times what I see people do is they just start throwing up excuse after excuse. There's a way to like inform people of the whole, because sometimes you get the crazy person. Right?
Yeah, you do. Undoubtedly.
And they will usually expose themselves as a crazy person. I'll give you a great example. You and I both know a guy by the name of Martin Howie, and he's a good friend of mine. And he's got
he's not a crazy person.
No, he's not. He's not. But he charges, anywhere from like $5,000 to $20,000 for his various courses. And so this is before I really knew him well. And I'm looking online. And I'm like trying to find out before I go through one of his courses, is this guy legit? Is he a crackpot? What's the deal? So I come across this one website that I'm sure some of our contractors who are listening have run across. They've been featured on it, unfortunately. It's called Ripoff Report.
I've seen that.
It's literally the only bad review I could find of Martin was ripoffreport.com. So I go to that and I'm reading, and on that, at least at that time, you could see the person's complaint, you could see the other person's response, and go back and forth. And I'm reading the whole thing, and I'm reading everything that Martin is doing above and beyond to help this guy. And you eventually reach the point where you go, this guy's a lunatic. Like, he's just literally crazy. And it was because of how Martin handled it that you were able to see that, Martin was going above and beyond. Hey, this isn't what I normally do for people, but I'm going to do this for you. Let me work with you one-on-one. Let me do this, that, or the next thing. Wow, it sounds like you got a full house going on right now. But, yeah, so I mean, how you handle the bad reviews is really, really important and part of the puzzle. because people are going to look at your reviews online.
Right.
In fact, I remember this one guy, he came over to give us a quote on having an awning put in our backyard, Sunsetter Awnings. He was featured from them. And I mentioned something like, oh, yeah, you just got to check Yelp and see what other people say about the contractor. And I remember him backpedaling so hard that I was like, okay, you got bad reviews online. I know you got bad reviews. And it turns out he did. Like, all of his reviews were bad.
So, oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's see.
But he also made no effort to get good reviews. And I think that's kind of what spawned where I wanted to go with this topic, because I wanted to give people a great example from another industry that you can take and implement in your business to get good reviews. So as Dave knows, he knows this about me. I love going shooting. Like, I'm a big firearms enthusiast. I go shooting every week. I take training classes. I do shooting competitions. I love it. So I'm always buying crap, right? It's always crap, right?
It's either electronic crap or gun crap, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And so I bought some holster. I literally could not even tell you what the holster was that I bought. And I get it in the mail. And I get this letter. I'm going to read you guys this letter. It's a handwritten letter. All right. That's the key thing to note. It's handwritten. And then I'll tell you, my marketing mind kicks in and I can see what the guy did. And it's even more brilliant when you know what he's doing. So it says, "Dear Peter, to show my appreciation, I upgraded your shipping to USPS Priority 2-day at no additional charge to you. I wanted to handwrite this letter to thank you for being one of my first clients. I've only sold a few hundred of these. I'm a combat veteran small business owner, and my future is determined by the quality of my customer service. Do you think you could do me a small favor and leave an honest product review for me when you receive the product? It would mean the world to my family and I. I've included instructions about how to leave a product review with your smartphone on a separate page. Thanks again for your support, Peter. Best regards, Jacob Dines, owner." And then on the back side of that page is all typed out how to leave your product review on your smartphone on Amazon.
Wow.
So, first of all, if you get that letter, do you think you're going to write a review for someone? Odds are pretty
Absolutely.
good. You are, right?
Oh,
you know, it's hand addressed. I upgraded your shipping. It mean the world to my family and I. I'm a combat veteran, blah, 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 blah. Of course you are. Now, here's the beautiful piece of this letter. So after I read the whole thing, I'm like, wait a second. I know he didn't handwrite this letter, right? So I look at it and I'm like, brilliant. It's a photocopy, but he put my name in black ink, so I didn't notice it until I really examined it.
Right.
That all he had to do was handwrite my name on it, and I would immediately assume the whole thing was handwritten. I mean, because it was originally.
Yeah.
He just photocopied it.
You know, we used to do that same thing with, we used to buy a lot of houses back in 2005, 2006, 2007, and we do handwritten yellow line paper, and we write out one letter in a black, fine Sharpie, and we send it off and have them run 5,000 copies, and then the girl in the office would just put their first name, "Hey, Bob."
Yep.
And you can run yellow on most copiers. You don't have to send them off to a printer. If you make one, you can just run them all off on a yellow line paper.
Right.
So it's, put a piece of white paper on top of yellow. I can tell you how to do it. On top of the yellow, write your letter out, and then put your yellow line paper in there, and it'll print it out.
Yeah, totally.
And it's that simple.
Exactly. And I think, the takeaway from this,
great idea.
There's lots of different ways to get reviews, but you have to have a system in place. Like, this guy clearly has a system. Letter goes out with every package that he ships. And ask yourself, what's my system to get reviews? Do you even ask for a review? do you make it simple for someone to give you a review? So let's say you want some Yelp reviews, you want some Google reviews, you want some Angie's List reviews, whatever the lists are or the places are that you want reviews. One, have at the bare minimum, what this guy did was typed out everything. Step 1, log into your Amazon account. Step 2, find the product that you just received, tap that product, and then go to the button. He's got everything highlighted and circled, write a product review. And that's where you can leave the product review right there. And he made it easy. He made it easy for people who probably don't normally write reviews to find out where do they go write it. So same thing is true if you're looking to get Google reviews or Facebook reviews or Yelp reviews, whatever it is, tell them how to do it, right? You just finished painting someone's house or remodeling their bathroom or whatever. Tell them what to do. And then, one of the things that we do with our real estate clients, I've got this one client who's got 3,000 past clients and only like 30 testimonials. And so he wrote letters, a letter, right? And just did a mail merge on his computer and shipped them all out. And it basically was like, hey, you know what? I'm trying to get some reviews online. I'd like to ask you to go online and give an honest opinion of our time working together. And as a thank you, I've included a $5 Starbucks gift card. And so people would get it and they would go online and do exactly what he said. And then he gave them instructions, this is where you go and this is how you leave a review. But he was basically buying those reviews. He, 1, gave them great service. And then 2, preemptively sent them a gift card. So it's that law of reciprocity. I've given you something and now you kind of feel obligated to do something for me. And all I want is a great little review. And that's how he did it, to get a bunch of reviews online. So if you don't have enough or don't have enough good ones, think about going back to your past clients and asking them for reviews. Use that little strategy. Tell them what to do.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I was trying to find mine. I've gotten in my my notes. I've got one for customers that when I get finished, I text them and I say, thanks so much for your business. Yeah, and then what I do is I go to your Google reviews page and don't sign in. With your Gmail account.
Right. Okay.
And then pull the link up for your business for your Google reviews. Cut and paste that into a Google shortener,
Right. Yep.
And then I just put it in my notes, and it says, dear Bob, thanks so much. We really appreciate your business, and if you could take the time, just a minute of your time, click here and go to our Google reviews page. Give us 5 stars and add a nice comment for us.
And people will be happy to do that.
Yeah. And you'll get about 50% that will. Yeah. So if you don't do it, the answer is automatically no.
Right. Right. In fact, I'm just looking right now. I know to do a nice little plug here, SMSconversations.com. We pre-populate a whole bunch of text messages in your account. And we got a whole bunch for requesting referrals. I want to see if I've got review ones in there, because if I don't, I'm going to add one to it. Sounds like you got the whole family over. How many grandkids you got over? How many grandkids do you have now, Dave?
6.
Because I was saying, I know that's not your kid.
She went to pick up the baby and next oldest brother. I guess they're spending the night.
Nice. Let's see here. Following up, just saw them. Market changes, reconnect. Yeah, I'm going to make sure that we add a testimonial one. I thought we had one. We might have that under the... Yeah, those are referral requests. Yeah, I'm going to add something for testimonials because I love that idea of just texting it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. When I find it, what I'll do is for this one, I'll send it over to Travis and give them, how to do it. You guys can figure out how to do it. So you'll have it, at least in your text.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that'd be awesome.
And then there's other ones too. If there's a couple of services out there that you can get if you have, that are relatively not that expensive. But the nice part about it is if you are working on getting better and you haven't been really good, it'll give you a chance to not accept the ones that are under a 3. So you get to pick them out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
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 So but if you're doing a good job, there's no reason why you should get a bad. And most of the time, I mean, like once in a while you'll get a jerk, and that's like 1% of the time. But if you get a bad review, it's your fault.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you know someone's a lunatic, don't ask them for the review. Wait for them to go online.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Don't shoot yourself in the foot.
Right. Yeah. But I love anything that can be automated. So I love the idea of sending a text message, sending an email. And I think, that's one of the things that we've done for referrals. And we'll do a whole podcast episode on getting referrals. But one of the game changers for my clients who never ask for referrals has been that we automate the process by literally having a pre-written text message and what's called a ringless voicemail or a sly voicemail that just drops just drops right on their cell phone. And so we'll hit them typically with a pre-written email. If they don't respond to that, we hit them with a text message. If they don't respond to that, we hit them with a sly voicemail. And so my clients never have to think about asking. It just, oh, that's right. You know what? It's time for Billy Bob to ask him for a referral. I'm just going to select that message, send it to him. And the system does the rest. And then when they get it, now they've got it, right? It's now an asset in their business. Getting reviews can be assets in your business. Always be thinking about how can I increase the assets in my business? And that's an inexpensive way to have an incredible asset that'll pay you over and over again.
Yeah, it is. Because I remember I got a couple calls last week, and I always ask, well, how did you hear about us? Especially if they're out of state. Go, oh, I saw went to your website, or I went to Google, and I pulled up Painter, and I looked at your reviews, and you had some of the best ones, so we wanted to give you a call.
And that's the key right there. That is where people go. They go online to see if you're legit. And unfortunately, the contracting industry has a bad reputation. And some of it is absolutely deserved. There are some bad players out there in the marketplace who are ruining it for all the good players. And that's just the game, right? That's the game you're in. So you need to stack the deck in your favor, get those good reviews, get them online. When people do leave bad reviews, see how you can remedy the situation and let it be known that you're trying to remedy the situation, because you don't want that to be tearing down your business. There are people who, after looking at their reviews, I'm like, I'm not using that guy. Like, I needed to have some yard work done in my backyard. And so we got this flyer on our doorstep. And I'm like, well, one yard guy's as good as the next, right? That's literally what I'm thinking. Until I Google him. And I don't even know why I Googled him, but I'm looking at his Yelp reviews. They were the lowest Yelp reviews of any of the other landscaping companies on Yelp. Like, he had a 1-star average rating, and everyone else was, worst case 3.5 stars, best case 4.5 stars. And I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm calling this guy. Like, people are saying he's fraud, he does this. I'm like, I'm not calling this guy. That's crazy. And that's what people are doing. Like, you can be the best guy out there, but one person goes on there, leaves a bad review. 3 or 4 people go on there, leave bad reviews. And those could be the only 3 or 4 bad things that you ever did. And maybe they weren't even your fault. But you never got your good clients to write good reviews. It's your fault. It's now your fault. Don't blame it on anyone else. It's your fault if you're not asking your good clients to leave you good reviews.
Right. And so if you're thinking about, well, this is too much work for me to do to get reviews think about this. Is it too much to do this work to put money in the bank for the future?
Yep.
Because that's what it is. Everyone's checking to see it. It's almost as powerful, if it's not as powerful, as a referral.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And like I said, it's an asset in your business. People are going to look at that stuff. They're going to use it and check it. And, then you can do all kinds of stuff when you have those reviews. So you're going out to meet with someone to give them a quote, to be able to say, and by the way, here's 25 of the most recent reviews that I have. I mean, who else is doing that, right? I mean, you and I both know a guy by the name of Dan Kennedy, great marketing guy. Before he meets with a client, he FedExes them 500 testimonials. Same thing as a review, just a different word.
Yeah.
And so they get a package of 5. He puts one per page. Like, he doesn't care that he's burning through literally a ream of paper. Like, his clients are worth it to him. Yeah, exactly, right? He didn't care. But the impact that has on people is, well, of course I'm going to go with this guy. Think about it. If I'm looking at having my roof done, if I'm looking at having a bathroom redone, and you come over, or before you come over, you have messengered over to me, all of your reviews, maybe it's 10 of them, maybe it's 25, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 1,000. What kind of impression is that going to make on me? I'll guarantee you that if you did that to me, you would get my business. Like, I guarantee you. Because that's what I've done. When I've had people come to me and said, by the way, you can call these people and verify. I'm like, that's someone who believes enough in their work that I can call any of their past clients, and I don't ever call them. But it's the fact that they believe enough in it.
Yes. Yeah.
So, anyway, that was my piece. That's my piece on testimonials.
That's gold.
So go get them, guys. Go get them.
Go get the gold. Go get the gold.
Yeah.
Until next week. Go get some gold.
That's it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be back next week with another great episode. Take care, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye.